Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to see an supernatural elements used in Shakespeare's play A Midsummer Night's Dream. First of all, let me introduce the characters in the play. There are two types of characters used in this play: humans and fairies. Humans: Theseus, Duke of Athens; Hippolyta, Queen of Amazons; Aegeus, courtier in Theseus' court and father of Hermia; Hermia, daughter of Aegeus; Helena, maid and best friend of Hermia; Lysander, Athenian man, he is in love with Hermia; Demetrius, Athenian man, initially he is in love with Hermia and finally falls in love with Helena. Fairies: Oberon, king of fairies; Titania, the beautiful queen of fairies; Puck, another name is Robin Goodfellow, a mischievous fairy, assistant of Oberon. Another important character in this play is Nick Bottom, drama artist, become as hated human by Buck's magic. Act 1. At the opening of the Act 1, Duke Theseus prepares for his marriage to Hippolyta. It is a 4-day celebration. Theseus is interrupted by a courtier, Aegeus. Aegeus asks for a duke to give a solution for a dispute. His daughter Hermia will not agree to marry Demetrius, whom Aegeus has chosen for her, because she loves a gentleman named Lysander. The duke asks Hermia to be obedient to her father. He offers her one of two options. She must either die or accept a nunnery life in Diana's temple. Hermia upset with the offer, so Lysander and Hermia plan to elope to the Lysander's aunt house in woods. Hermia shares their secret with her best friend Helena. Helena is already in love with Demetrius, who seems to have abandoned her favor of Hermia. At night, Lysander and Hermia escape from Athens to woods. After Helena tells Demetrius of their intention to defy the law, Demetrius decides to follow the lovers into the woods. In turn, Helena follows Demetrius in the hope that he will give up on Hermia and choose her instead. Meanwhile, a group of working men are preparing a play of a tragic love story of Pyramus and Thisbe to present before the Duke Theseus on his wedding day. Act 2. In the woods, Oberon has recently quarrelled with his queen Titania. She acquired a magical child from one of her waiting women, and now refuses to hand him over to Oberon to use as a servant. Oberon begins to plot a way to get revenge on Titania for her disobedience. He sends his fairy servant Puck to fetch a purple flower, love in idleness, with juice that makes people fall in love with the next creature they see. Demetrius argues with Helena in the forest. Oberon hears Demetrius mistreat Helena and tells Puck to squeeze the juice in the Athenian. So Demetrius will fall in love with the first person that he sees. Puck mistakes the Athenian and puts the flower juice on the eyes of the sleeping Lysander. When he is woken up by Helena, he immediately falls in love with her and rejects Hermia. When Demetrius rests, Oberon puts magic juice on his eyes, which makes him also falls in love with Helena as well. Before moving to Act 3, we should know about the story of the tragic play Pyramus and Thisbe, which is going to be performed in Duke's marriage. Pyramus and Thisbe are two lovers in the city of Babylon who lived in the connected house, forbidden by their parents to be wed. Through a crack in one of the walls, they whisper their love for each other. One day they arrange to meet near the wall under a mulberry tree and express their feelings for each other. Thisbe arrives first, but upon seeing a lioness with a mouth full of blood, she frightened and went into her house, leaving behind her coat. When Pyramus arrives, he is horrified at the sight of Thisbe's coat, which the lioness had torn and left traces of blood behind. Thisbe, assuming that a wild beast has killed her, so Pyramus kills himself falling in his sword, his blood splashing on the white mulberry tree, which changes the white mulberry tree to dark. Thisbe returns, eager to tell Pyramus what had happened to her, but she finds Pyramus' dead body under the shade of the mulberry tree. Thisbe, after a brief period of mourning, stabs herself with the same sword and kills herself. Thus, the story ends with tragedy. Now we move to Act 3. The workers' rehearsals in the wood are overheard by Puck, who plays a trick on them by giving Bottom an axe head. After frightening the others away, Bottom is moved towards the sleeping Titania, whom Oberon has squeezed with Puck's magic flower juice. On waking, the Fairy Queen falls in love with the axe-head man Bottom and entertains him with her fairies. Meanwhile, Demetrius and Lysander, still under the spell of the flower juice, pursue Helena. Hermia is jealous and confused about the lack of attention paid to her. Oberon and Puck watch the happenings, and Oberon commands Puck to put it right again. The lovers' arguments have tired them all out as they have chased one another through the woods. Puck eventually distracts the two men from their pursuit of Helena by impersonating their voices, and they get lost in the woods. The four lovers fall asleep, exhausted. Puck places restorative juice on Lysander's eyes. Act 4. After an afternoon of being pampered by Titania's fairies, Bottom falls asleep beside her. Oberon restores Titania's sight and wakes her. After expressing her dismay at the sight of Bottom, she reunites with Oberon, and she ends up giving him the little Indian prince for his servant. Bottom's axe head is removed, and he returns to the city to rejoin his friends as they prepare to perform their play. The lovers are woken up by Theseus and Hippolyta's hunting party. Lysander sees Hermia and falls in love with her once again. Act 5. Happily reunited the two couples, they agree to share the Duke's wedding day. The play of Pyramus and Thisbe is presented before the wedding guests with numerous errors and incorrect reference, making it into a complete comedy play, but all of them enjoyed it. At the end of the play, Puck and Fairies return to bless the palace and its people. At last, Puck addressed to the audience that if you did not like the play, imagine it was all a dream. And this is the summary of the play A Midsummer Night's Dream. Now let us know how Shakespeare used supernatural element in this play. In this play, the fairies come into contact only with Bottom, the drama artist. Others are victim of their mischief or benefit from their good actions without being aware of them. The height of fantasy is achieved when Titania calls her fairy attendants and says, "Come, a roundel and a fairy song." Then, for the third part of a minute hence. In this play, the fairies, especially Puck, play mischief with mankind but are not evil. Thus, Shakespeare used fairies as supernatural elements in Midsummer Night's Dream. Thank you for watching this video.